I am Olivia Niemerg.
I am Elizabeth Fisher.
Carrington Crable.
I am Shania Skinover.
Abigail Weiss.
Joanna Schultz.
Josie Orris.
Teutopolis.
I'm from Charleston.
Paris.
I'm from Pana.
Effingham.
Altamont.
Sullivan.
I think it was really exciting for us because obviously last year it was really disappointing not to be able to go to nationals after all the hard work that we put in. So us going into this year, it was just that much more important for us. We wanted to win every single game with each other, and we wanted to kind of close out the season in a really good way. So being able to go to nationals and like for the girls who finished their last year of basketball ever, this year was important for us to like, let's end it on an amazing note and let them walk out of here with just on a win. And I guess for that to be able to happen, it was really cool.
What did Coach Johnson mean to you girls as a mentor, but also as a coach?
Honestly, I could say that Coach Johnson is probably the best coach I've ever had. And we would go into a game and we'd always be well prepared and just knew what we were doing. And there was never like a moment where we were like, we don't know anything this team does. Like we had every strategy down of this team.
Yeah, we always went in and knew every single player's like strengths and weaknesses, and we were never blindsided by anything that anybody ever did.
Last year, of course, you guys got the districts and won it. And this year, you guys won it again. What does it mean to do it 2 years in a row and going back to nationals?
I think for all of us, it just means a lot because last year, because we got shut down because of COVID, it was like we had unfinished business in the region district tournament, and it just meant like we had to get back to nationals and we had to, finish what we started.
At nationals, you guys played against USC, ranked number 10. You guys are number 2. They got seated very low, and they should have been seated a lot higher. One of the toughest teams you guys played all year. What was that like?
I think this is a great example of seedings mean nothing at nationals, and everybody is good competition. I mean, they obviously deserve to be there. They were a number 10 seed, and they also had the number 1 leading scorer that Abby was able to shut down for us. So, I mean, that was a great challenge for us too, which the competition in that game felt like it was the championship game.
They kind of branch off of that, like the whole seeding is like, it's hard to say that they're accurate. There was a team, Pimo was in it, they were 3-3. So like, that just kind of tells you like, you never know like who you're gonna play. Like you can win and lose to anybody. So that's why it's important to go into like the games and with a championship mentality.
So going into the semifinal game against Parkland, you guys separated colleges-wise 54 miles away, and you go 10 hours away to play each other. What did that mean?
Going into it, it kind of just shows everybody, how good our region is. We had 3 teams in the Final Four. So we've obviously played them twice, and we went split. We both lost one. And so going into it, obviously we knew that they were going to be good, and both teams were obviously going to want to win this game more than anything. And that too felt like a championship game. I mean, everybody was really excited. I know they were excited to play us, and we were excited to play them. So I think as a team, we just really wanted that win, and that kind of showed.
Going into the national title game, what was going through the team's vibe as far as were you guys nervous? What was going on?
I can honestly say that we went out to eat that day because we had a later game, and you could barely talk to anyone. Like everybody was just like mindset focused. Nobody was discussing anything. It wasn't like a normal day for sure, but
I think it was more like the first game of the tournament, our nerves were really bad. I know everybody before was like, oh, my stomach hurts, and people could barely eat. But once we got to like the last game, we were just so dialed in that it was just like no emotions. We were just there to play the game and do what we had to do.
For a lot of us, it was our last game, and I don't even think that crossed our minds.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's hard to keep like emotion out like while playing the game or like at halftime in the huddle, whatever. And I remember like we kind of came out at half, and the starters, and we walked out on the court, and we were kind of like I remember saying like, guys, like we got to do this for coach, and we got to do this.
Yeah. I think we just looking at us, we all just looked like we meant business, and even every quarter we would say it's 0-0. We have to win this quarter, and just.
I definitely think we all had nerves, but I think we were more anxious and ready to play the game. And we were all Coach had us really well prepared. So.
Yeah, well, Coach always calls us the Girl Scouts, and when we warm up, we're silent. It doesn't even look like we want to be there. And the other team was really energetic. They were loud, and like by looking at us, you wouldn't think that we would win. So we had something to prove.
For starters, the scouting reports never change because we always go into a game like it's just a normal one. It wasn't a big deal, so we don't change anything up. It's always the same thing. And
I'll branch off the scouting report. So they're always like same format and stuff, but like when you can really tell they have some good players when there's just thick, bold, long paragraphs of one person, and there were a lot on that scouting report, and that's when we knew we're like, yep, this is gonna be a good game. About like the start of the game, it kind of reminded me of when we played North Central Missouri to get there, because we came out obviously on fire, and it was kind of like the same when we played Johnson County. We came out with a 10-point lead, and like obviously you have those like personal thoughts like while you're playing for a second. And for a second I was like, man, this is like weird. You wouldn't expect to go up like 10-0 in that national championship game, but I knew that we were just on fire, we were ready to play, and I was definitely like, I feel like everybody was like definitely not content at that point, which was obviously for good reason, because then obviously they came back, and then we kind of ended up in that one person's up by 5 and now the other person's up by 7, and then back and forth.
I'll tell you my favorite memory about it was whenever they had me on probably the fastest girl I've ever seen. And me being not fast at all, I had to go up, and she was already down the court, and I'm at the other end. And they throw her a ball, she gets a layup real easy, I'm trying to catch up to her. And Abby yelled at me. I said, we got in the huddle, I said, you guard her then. That was my favorite part about that game. But yeah, I just felt like whenever in the middle we knew what was gonna happen, like we were still like focused, but we knew it was coming, and at the end of the game I think we were all shocked, like we knew we had it in the bag.
So Carrington, you had a really bad injury toward the end of the game. Last 3 or 4 minutes, you came down and you ended up being in a wheelchair toward the end of the game when you guys won it all. What went through your mind when that all happened?
I was kind of devastated because I really would have liked to finish out the game with the whole team and, grab the plaque with them and celebrate, but
But I think a big thing is whenever we won, we made sure you were included. We wanted you to be a part of that because we knew you were upset about it. But we made sure we got you in the pictures and everything. So, and honestly, if it wasn't for your 2 points, we came back with that. So
Yes, sir.
it wasn't that for that injury. Go ahead.
I'll branch off that. And obviously that happened in a critical point, in the game. And Carrington was a huge player for us in that game. She kept coming and giving us quality minutes. And when that happened, I just remember we kind of came to the huddle, and like Kamaria was almost in tears because she suffered from knee injuries, in her past playing, and so she was worried about you, and everybody else was worried about you. And I just remember like again the starters walk on the court, and we're like, guys, like now we're doing this for Carrington too at this point now, and we can't make this injury go for nothing. We got to get the wins.
I know for me, we knew like a little before the buzzer went off that we had won that game, and at first it was just kind of like I had no emotion. I was obviously so excited, and then as it started going on and we realized it just kicked in that we won, I was very emotional. I bursted into tears because it's everything that we'd been working hard for these past like 2 years that we got taken away. It was my last game, and I could now say that I got to like end my career on a win, which is an incredible feeling, and it was just a very emotional time for me.
To kind of go off that, it was like we all knew what was about to happen, but we like couldn't express it. We were like shocked in that moment of time, and I think we really knew like whenever we huddled up, we were like so excited we just won, we knew that we did it for us and we did it for our coaches. Like that was it.
And I'll also go off of that, and like not only that, but like Coach made a really good point right before the game, and he was just kind of like, guys, you're doing this for like past Lakeland players too. Like you guys you can be the first people to do it. And so like when we did win, like I remember like you just make eye contact with like everybody, and it was just kind of like,
Wow.
like we just did that. Like I get chills talking about it. Like it's crazy. I remember looking at Liv, and I was just kind of like, this doesn't make any sense, but in the moment it did. But I said, welcome to Lakeland after we won. But I was so excited. I'm like, you're at Lakeland, baby.
When you guys won it all and coming home on the 10-hour trip, getting back around 8 o'clock on that Sunday night, what was going through your guys' minds seeing everybody welcoming you home? I mean, it was unlike any other. The campus at Lakeland here was crazy.
honestly, it totally meant a lot because for that much support to be here, the cops came like an hour out just to drive us home. And because everyone was so excited, they were just ecstatic over everything that just happened. And like to get out on the bus and have everyone like welcome you home. And there were so many people there, like.
This group has been exceptional all year, and 2 years, this team is 55-5. Okay? They had a chance last year, and unfortunately, out of no control, we couldn't play at Nationals. So from day one, we had a meeting right after that on Zoom, and from day one, everybody said, we're getting back, and that's been our goal all year. We got out there and we just said we're gonna take it one game at a time and see what happens. And we played great the first day, played an unbelievable team the second day and beat them in a very close game. And then of course, a great game against Parkland in the semifinals. And I've been a part of a lot of basketball games, and I don't know that I've ever had a team play as hard physically as this team played last night. That was an excellent team we played last night. The number one team. And they just kind of willed their way to win. We were down 5 in the fourth quarter, and we called timeout. Everybody was calm, and you know they just went out and did it. They deserve a lot of credit.
And like when we saw that huge crowd when we got off the bus, it was just kind of like, for me, and I know for a couple others as well, like I hadn't really understood like the magnitude of what we had done at that point until like we kind of saw how big the crowd was and like how many people it actually affected that we did win that national tournament. And I think that was kind of like helping me come to realization like, oh wow, like what we did was kind of big.
Yeah, because like honestly, if you think about it, we didn't, since our season was we only got film, we got 2 people able to come to our game, so we didn't know how many people were watching, especially at home. So it's just like, it was just like, wow, we did that.
I think
everyone.
the support we've had from the other teams here at Lakeland has just been unbelievable. They had, during our games, that all the teams gathered in the gym and watched us, and the softball team all season long has just been unbelievably supportive to all of us. And they came, decorated our locker room, and had everybody out here, and it was just really nice to see everybody.
I think the most thing that I'll remember is like, we were so close. I've never been on a team that was so family oriented and just was all about each other. It wasn't me, me, me. It was literally, we were in this together, and we were close outside of school. Like it wasn't just any other team. Like, it's different.
I don't know if I can specifically like pick a memory. I think for me it was just like I had so much fun throughout the entire year. Like every practice we just had a blast with each other. And you know, last year whenever there wasn't like COVID restrictions, we would all like Wednesdays come and watch like rec basketball and just hang out and just do things together as a team. And it's just like the memories in practice and everything that I'll remember. Obviously the national championship is number one, but the little things for sure for me. I like to thank Coach Johnson and JR because they've done everything for us. They both fought incredibly hard to get us a season, get rid of or help us through all the protocols that Lakeland was throwing at us, and they've just done everything for us this year.
I want to thank my friends and family. I had such a big support system these past 2 years, and on top of that, my parents so much.
I want to thank just the community in general. I mean, we would definitely not have been able to do this without everybody's support and everybody kind of working together to try and get through all the COVID protocols and just kind of get us a season and let us be able to have the success that we've been able to have.
Yeah, I can go off that Lakeland. They've done so much. Like the presidents, everybody that was involved, the teammates, anybody.
I agree with everything they said. I also think that we should be really appreciative of Tom, our assistant coach.
Yeah.
He was very supportive and never let us down, always had our backs.
Yeah, I want to thank Coach Johnson for just pushing me to be the hardest player and the best player I can be, and my parents for always supporting me.
I want to thank all you guys. This has been one of the best years of my life, and I'm gonna miss him so much next year.
Coach Johnson's the number one.